Hey guys, sorry, every time I try to do not every time, but sometimes lately when I try to do a live video, it like freezes. I don't know if anybody got notification of that and then was like, what the heck, where is she? Anyways, hello! Tonight I wanted to talk about something that has been a fairly big part of my life for like the last year and a half or so now. And yeah, that is floatation therapy or sensory deprivation, which is not, you know, a blow up pool in the middle of a school gymnasium with a bunch of people around you, like they show on Stranger Things. It's not like that. It's not. It's much better. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about this because I post, of course, like every week. If you follow me on Instagram or on my like page on here, Fit and Funny Mama, you would see that I post pretty much every week that I go to floatation therapy, and I've been doing that for about a year and a half now, and I get asked a lot of questions about it, so I thought I would just come live and I would talk about it with you guys. So if you have any questions, just drop them below. I'd be happy to answer any questions to the best of my ability. As you're getting on, make sure to say hi so I know you're here. And yeah, so first off, what is floatation therapy or sensory deprivation or whatever? So it is called floatation therapy nowadays. It started way back when as sensory deprivation, because that's essentially what it is. You are in a pod of salt water, and there's so much salt in there. There's like 1,000 pounds of Epsom salt in the water, so you just float, like without even trying. You effortlessly just float. It's like impossible to not float in there. And so the water is kept at like skin temperature. So what's really, really cool, it's actually pretty trippy. You literally like can't really tell like where the water ends and where your skin begins, or vice versa. So that's really, really cool. And also, you know, traditionally, since it's sensory deprivation, it's supposed to be, you know, soundproof and pitch black dark. So you can't see anything, you can't hear anything, you can't feel anything, like you can't taste anything, like all your senses, right? That's what it is. Nowadays, though, they're a little bit more modern. So there are usually the pods and stuff have fancy colored lights, and they have music. You can listen to music, you can listen to guided meditations and all these sorts of things. And they're usually anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes. Some places have options to float for even longer. The place that we go to most often has an option for like a 250-minute float or something. I haven't done that yet, but I want to. It's like a bucket list item. So that's like what it is. You go in and you have your own private room with your own shower, and then there's the pod. You strip down totally naked, you shower, and then you get into the water, and then you're in there for, like I say, 60 to 90 minutes traditionally. And then you get out, you shower again, and whatever. And so I wanted to share kind of like why I've been doing it and what like the biggest changes I've noticed in my life since doing it are. And so there's different reasons to do floatation therapy. There's a lot of physical benefits to it. So like, I think it's some team, I think it's the Chicago Cubs, I might be wrong, but they have a float tank in their locker room. There's some team that has a float tank actually like in their locker room for their players to use. So there's a lot of like physical benefits because it's Epsom salt, right? So that's obviously great for muscle recovery and those sorts of things, right? So there's the physical reasons to do it. There's people with fibromyalgia that'll go floating, and they say like that's like the time where they have like zero pain, and so anyways, so there's all that sort of stuff. And then there's also kind of like more like the spiritual side of it, like the meditation side and stuff like that. And that's honestly the biggest reason that I do it, because I am like terrible at meditating. Like at home, I am like squirrel. Like I just get distracted all the time, and it's like pretty much the longest that I can meditate at home is like 5 minutes, maybe like max. And I still try to do it every day. But also I kind of feel like I get a little bit of meditation in my workouts too, because meditation doesn't always have to look at how you think it is. You know, anyways, I'm digressing. But when I'm in that float tank, it is like 60 minutes where I'm in water, so I don't have my phone with me. I can't look at my phone. I can't, like, my daughter can't come and, like, talk to me about anything. And, like, it's me time. I'm there for 60 minutes. I just let go, and it's me time. And the biggest thing that I noticed, like, from doing it is just, like, I'm just overall more calm. Like, I used to be really, like overwhelmed and like all the time, just all over the place, and like stressed out, and like I was just kind of, I don't know, high strung, I guess, maybe, and I'm just like more go with the flow, whatever. But the biggest thing that I noticed from that, because like I say, you get into like a really deep meditation state, so you actually get into theta state, which is a state that usually we get into, I think, in our sleep cycle. I could be wrong about that, but it's like basically a state where you kind of get in touch with your subconscious mind, which is really cool. And it makes it a lot more doable in the float tank, in flotation therapy, to reach that state. And so what's really cool is you'll go in and it's like, man, this is like an hour or an hour and a half, and it seems like it's going to be forever, but literally like not at all. Like, it goes by so fast, and you just lose track of time, and then you're just like, oh my gosh, it's time to get out. So that's really cool. The other thing is that afterwards, there's this, you literally like feel euphoric after. Like, it's actually called a floater's high, because you come out and you're just like, like, I feel so calm and at peace, and like, and I've like fallen over into the shower and stuff like that a few times. So that's kind of, you feel so good afterwards. But I was really reflecting, because in one of the groups that I'm in, flotation therapy came up, and I said, I've been doing this like almost weekly for the last year and a half. I mean, there's been like the odd weeks that maybe I've missed or whatever here and there, but typically every week I go floating. And it's been like a year and a half now. And they're like, well, what have you noticed? Have you noticed anything, any benefits, like long-term, whatever? And I was really thinking about it, because I was like, I don't know. Like I say, I feel better. I feel like a more sense of calm. I feel good. But like, have I noticed any like real changes? And then it hit me. So I used to be so resentful. I was just like such a resentful person. And I realized, like, just within like the last year or so, I am not anymore. Like, I haven't been now for, like I say, like some point within the last year or so. I'm not anymore. Like, I'm not. I'm able to, instead of being resentful to people for things they do or say or don't do, whatever, like I used to always be. I used to be like so judgmental and resentful of people. I like literally live with so much compassion. Like, I have compassion for everyone. And so I don't become resentful anymore. I'm not, like, things that people do or don't do, like, don't get to me like they used to. Like, things used to really get under my skin. When people would do or not do things or whatever, that would just really upset me. They would so get under my skin. And now, just within like the last year or so, they don't anymore. I don't get like this, how I used to get about things. And I have so much compassion for everybody around me. And so, yes, I do personal development as well. I read a lot of books and stuff that, teach you about having more compassion and not judging people and stuff like that. But I've been reading those books for like 5 years, and it's only been within the last year that I've noticed, the more compassion and letting go of the resentment and those sorts of things. So I would say with quite a lot of confidence that has been thanks to my regular floating. So like I say, that's, a lot of people go floating for physical benefits. For me, it's mainly been for that. It's been for the emotional, the mental, the spiritual benefits, that, like I say, that 60 minutes where I just allow myself to just kind of let go, and just, I get into that meditative state that I just can't seem to accomplish very well at home. When there's so much going on around me. So that's kind of my story. That's a little bit about what flotation therapy is, why I do it, the benefits that I've noticed from it since I've been doing it consistently. And yeah, also because it's Epsom salt, one of the ladies at a place that I went floating once, because I've tried like a whole bunch of different float spas, by the way. And by the way, not every float spa is the same. There's a whole bunch of different float pods. There's different styles of whatever. So I do really recommend to like, don't just, if you try floating for the first time, you have like kind of a bad experience, do not judge it on that, because I've had a bad floating experience before, because I went to a place that like, they didn't have the right vibe, and like the water temperature was cool and like whatever. So don't, if you have a bad experience the first time, shop around, go and look at other places and those sorts of things. There was another place I went to once where like you could hear motorcycles on the road. Like I was like, this isn't very soundproof. But anyways, the place I go to now consistently, pretty much every week, is called Clear Float Spa, and it is in Mission in Calgary here. There's two other ones in Calgary that I really recommend. One is One Love Float, and that's all the way in Silver Springs, which is like on the other end of the city from me, so that's mainly the main reason we don't go there that often, because it is just so far away. But that one's amazing. She is awesome. And then the other one is the Float Life in, what's it called? Not the one in Kensington. There's two Float Lives in the city. The Float Life, the other one, they have float rooms, which is really cool. So I kind of like to do that just to mix things up. But anyways, so because you are in water, one of the ladies at one of the places that I did float at once, she actually said that because of all the Epsom salts that's in there, and of course all the like magnesium and all that stuff that your body's absorbing, an hour in a float tank is like the equivalent of, I think she said like a 3-day detox or something like that. Like, it's insane. So it has health benefits at that level as well. So anyways, I hope this was informative for you guys. Make sure to give me a thumbs up and hearts. And if you have any questions ever, or things that you're wondering or whatever, just feel free to ask. I'm like an open book. I love to share about all these things that I've found, that I've discovered, that have helped me so much. All right, guys, so I hope this was helpful for you. I will talk to y'all later.